When Overwatch 2 came out a couple of years ago, everyone had one huge problem with it, and that was its predatory monetization methods. Heroes and pretty much every single cosmetic were locked behind paywalls, which in the case for skins isn't exactly out of the ordinary, but these paywalls were pretty big. Now, they fixed this problem for the most part, especially with the addition of loot boxes recently, but my question isn't about whether Blizzard have redeemed themselves, but whether NetEase are having the same problems with monetization in Marvel Rivals. Obviously it's nowhere near as predatory as it was in Overwatch because they give us all the heroes for free, but in terms of content, how much do we have to pay to get the most out of the game? I'll do a big number crunch and a bunch of different calculations in a minute, but first I'm going to ask you to consider subscribing, as a bunch of research went into making this video and some of what I'm going to talk about is very important in terms of the future of both Marvel Rivals and the gaming industry as a whole. So let's look at the price of a skin. For just a skin outside of the bundle with nothing else, it will cost between 1,400 and 2,000 units depending on the rarity of the skin. Epics are generally 1,400 units, whilst legendaries are generally 2,000 units because they're considered rarer. At the time of this video being recorded and coming out of all of the skins in the game, there are only two that you can't buy outside of the bundle, and that's the Avengers Endgame skin for Iron Man and the Spider-Man No Way Home skin for, well, Spider-Man, oddly enough. Generally speaking, skins that are based on the way a character looks in a film are slightly more expensive, being 1,600 units outside of the actual bundle. So how much does this cost in actual money? I'm going to be working in GBP for this, but I'll convert them to euros and American dollars so the rest of you aren't really alienated. So for a skin that costs around 1,400 units, it's about £12, and then for a skin that costs 1,600 units, it's around £14. But lastly, for a skin that costs 2,000 units, it's around £16. So from my findings, we can deduce that skins actually aren't too expensive, especially when we throw in the fact that we get units for free in events and the battle pass. We get 500 free units in the battle pass. This is me including turning lattice into units, which is practically a third of a skin. Plus we get 60 times 5 lots of units from the current Midnight Features event, which, if you've done both parts, you'll have 600 units from doing both halves, putting us up to 1,100 free units just this season alone. Plus, they gave us 200 units for downtime a few weeks ago, so if you got those, it totals out at 1,300 free units. It's quite a lot in all fairness. I think it's fair to say that no, actually, Marvel Rivals doesn't have a monetization problem and is actually extremely fair and generous when it comes to rewarding its players for simply playing the game. 1,300 units is just the baseline of what's achievable this season, because we can get more units through the Heroic Journey and Chronoverse Saga set of achievements if we reach specific milestones. It is insane how generous the devs are being when it comes to giving us cosmetics for free. I bought the Malice bundle for Invisible Woman about half a month ago or so without spending any actual money on the game, and I'm already back up to like 800 units or something stupid like that. Before I finish this video, I want to quickly talk about how good of a value the Battle Pass is. It costs 990 lattice, which is around £8, but for this £8 you get 2 legendary skins, 4 epic skins, and 2 rare skins, so that's already a huge profit if we take into consideration how much individual skins cost in the shop. On top of this, you get a bunch of lattice and units that make buying the next battle pass cheaper because you don't have to spend quite as much as you did buying this one since you already have some lattice. Oh, and the best part? If you buy this current season's battle pass, you can access old seasons to get skins from previous battle passes. It's genuinely an insane value, and I think it just kind of drives home how not greedy NetEase are when it comes to stuff like cosmetics. We'll ignore the layoffs because this video was more to do with how greedy they are in the context of cosmetics within Rivals, but that's definitely a discussion to have at some point in the near future. But that just about does it for this video. I think everything I talked about in this video is really important when it comes to the whole discourse of whether or not live service games are cash grabs and the developers of said games are greedy. As I've proven in this video, it isn't every developer or every live service game, but it's a fair few of them. Looking at you, Destiny 2, and Pete Parsons. You don't need that many cars, but okay, sure. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as it lets me know that you've enjoyed it and want to see more. Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure you check out some of my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.